Note, this video is part of a larger series on speed solving the FTO. Click the playlist link in the description to see the rest of the videos. One of the most important must-haves is the ability to read and notate moves that are made on the puzzle, as this forms the basis for being able to both perform scrambles consistently and correctly, as well as reconstruct and share solves between others. It may feel a little mundane, but given its importance, we shall go over it in this video. While there is no universally agreed notation for moves on the FTO, the one I have adopted is intuitive to learn and is also used in the common online cubing timers such as CS Timer and QQ Timer, making it very accessible for easily practicing time solves. Its essence is similar to other common puzzle notation schemes such as that for the 3x3 cube. Outer layer moves are denoted using capital letters to indicate a layer that is rotated, and a suffix to indicate the direction. However, there are still some differences. Since there are a total of 8 turnable layers on the FTO, 8 sets of letters are used, rather than simply 6 individual letters. We also have slightly different notation for other actions, such as slice moves and puzzle rotations. So let's go through how it works. The image on the screen right now shows which sets of letters correspond to which layers. We first hold the puzzle so that a corner or vertex faces directly towards us as seen in the image. On the left is the front view of the puzzle, and the right shows the reverse view. Keep in mind that your color scheme may be different than mine, but the same basic idea holds. We have 4 layers that are visible from this front view, which are labeled as follows: U for up, F for front, R for right, and L for left. As for the reverse view, we have the other 4 layers, labeled B for back, D for down, BR for back right, and BL for back left. Notice that BR and BL are labeled based on the front view of the puzzle, and hence will be the other way around when viewed from the rear. So this is BL, and this is BR, from this angle. With my colors, white is on U and green is on F for standard orientation and for scrambling. If this isn't possible for your color scheme, the lightest color should be on U, and the darkest possible subsequent color should be on F, as per WCA regulation. Now, let's look at how to write down moves. This part works virtually the same as a 3x3 cube. A letter or pair of letters by itself indicates to turn that layer in the clockwise direction. So for example, L means to turn the L layer clockwise once, and U means to turn the U layer clockwise once. Pretty simple. A letter or pair of letters followed by an apostrophe pronounced as prime indicates to turn that layer in the anti-clockwise direction. So for example, R prime means to turn the right layer counterclockwise once, and F prime to turn the front layer counterclockwise once. Again, just like with the 3x3 cube notation. Notice that since the layers have 3-fold symmetry, no 2-fold turns will ever be needed like on a 3x3 cube, and we will not see that notation here. A letter or pair followed by a W suffix indicates to turn 2 layers together parallel to the one indicated. So for example, RW means to turn both layers parallel to the R layer in a clockwise direction relative to that R layer. And that's an example of an R wide prime right there. We usually only ever see wide moves on R, so there's not too much to worry about for this. Now, for middle or slice layer turns, this is where the notation begins to deviate. Rather than these being given their own letters, they are instead based on the regular moves but are given an S suffix. So for example, RS would mean to turn this middle slice layer parallel to the R face in the clockwise direction relative to that face. Here's an example of RS prime. Slice moves are only ever used in conjunction with these front 4 faces, but RS is the only one that will really be used during a solve. Finally, let's go over puzzle rotations, which are used to indicate how to hold or reorient the puzzle in your hands before executing listed moves. On the 3x3 cube, these are based on the coordinate axis labels of X, Y, and Z, but due to this puzzle not being cubical in geometry, such a notation is not really feasible. So for the FTO, these are instead derived from the regular moves again, kind of like the slice layer notation previously, but are denoted with an O suffix. So for example, LO means to rotate the whole puzzle about the L layer clockwise relative to that layer, and then UO would mean to rotate the whole puzzle around the U layer clockwise relative to that layer. However, even with all of these rotations, this is still not enough to reach all the possible orientations of the puzzle, only half of them in fact. So there is one more rotation added which acts on the front-facing vertex and is denoted with the letter T, which stands for tip, I guess. T by itself is a 90 degrees clockwise rotation, while T prime is 90 degrees anti-clockwise. T2 is not really used because it's redundant. Alright, this covers all of the notation that I and other solvers will most likely use. There are 2 points, however, which must be stated. First, this notation is not universally set in stone, and there are likely other notation sets for the puzzle that exist, which others may use. Second, as time develops, this notation set itself may be revised and updated. Depending on when you're watching this video, you can check the description for any updates or changes to the previously stated notation scheme. One last note, to use FTO scrambles in CS Timer, click on WCA at the top, scroll down right above the special category to Other, and click it to get scrambles generated for you. In QQ Timer, it is simply called FTO in the Scramble Type drop-down box at the top of the screen. That's it for this video. Be sure to check out the others through the playlist link in the description.